quick review to make sure you've got all the correct information. This is World Cultures and Geography, Chapter 15. This is how we say Russia in English. This is how to say Rusaya, which is Russia in Russian. On the top, we've got present-day Russia. On the bottom, we've got Russia in the past. So we've written down that the eastern part of Russia, called Siberia, is covered in permafrost, which is permanently frozen ground under the soil. We've got that natural resources in Russia are forests, minerals, and fishing. We can remember that Russia has a European side and an Asian side, so most people live in the big cities called Moscow and St. Petersburg. But the two continents get connected with the longest train in the whole wide world, the big railway called the Trans-Siberian Railway, and that the majority of people who practice religion in Russia are Eastern Orthodox Christianity, and that there are very famous ballets and composers. Tchaikovsky is a composer, and Swan Lake and Sleeping Beauty and the Nutcracker are very famous ballets. On the bottom, we have life in Russia. The first Slav state was called the Kievan Rus, and there were very famous princes such as Ivan the Terrible. A czar is a famous, very powerful leader. A czar is what Russia would have called their kings and queens. The most well-known leaders were belonging to the Romanov family. They were Peter the Great and Catherine the Great. And in 1917, the Bolsheviks led a revolution, and they executed the monarch, the Tsar, and the Bolsheviks created the Communist Soviet Union. So at about 1917 and 18, Russia began to be called the Soviet Union. And it lasted until 1991, when Mikhail Gorbachev was the leader of Russia, and the Soviet Union collapsed. So communism did not work out for the Soviet Union, and now the Russian Federation is what it's called this day. And in 2019, if we went to Russia, we would see that, oops, I made a mistake. His name's Vladimir, not Vladimin. Vladimir Putin is the president. Would you please take this assignment? We'll turn it into Mrs. Smith's silver tray and get credit for it, and then eventually it will get glued into our GeoJournals. Thanks for following along.